Rangers CEO James Bisgrove has been speaking for the first time about more than a few issues. He's obviously placed an emphasis on winning trophies. Financial stability will be a key. Developing the stadium, safe standings on the agenda as well. Better engagement with the fans and the media, and better player trading. So here's the key points from his discussion. Wants to have a dominant Rangers in Scotland with a clear strategy through until 2025. And he's outlined 4 pillars of financial sustainability: season ticket revenue, which is the backing of the fans, commercial revenue, European matchday revenue, and player trading model. He wants a constructive dialogue on safe standing, and he aims to improve engagement and communication with the media and fans, outlining his plans for quarterly CEO fans forum and implementation of a fan advisory board, which is nice. I mean, I think they're all 4 or 5 very good points that he wants to set out to try and achieve. If that's the manifesto, then I welcome it, Hugh, because at times I think previous boards, and I think James deserves a tremendous amount of credit for having the guts to say it, but I think previous boards have adopted a policy of picking fights with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely, they did, and you'll see that because there's still ongoing litigation with various people. It's still going and being a drain on certainly the club's finances and maybe even their energy as well. I mean, I like it's necessarily short on detail, that Peter. He's not going to come out and he's got to just get his message across. The message I would get from that is new start. Clear the board. And the second one
you said it's short and detail. What detail does it need to have in a situation like he's starting out with a blank piece of paper and saying, here's what I want to try and rectify? Well,
what he's doing is he's just dealing with themes. You know, when you say, I mean, it's great to say we want to be the dominant team in Scotland.
We want to win the league.
But what you've got to do is how you're going to get there, and there's got to be detail. How do you get there? As much as the manager going to get, because we're talking about 2025, how much is he going to get in the short term? Because if you're talking about 25, you're talking about transfer window 23, transfer window at the end of 23, transfer window summer of 24. So you may be, and then the winter, so you may be talking about 4 transfer windows if you're talking about by 2025.
Yeah.
So you're talking about how much money is he going to get? Where's that money coming from precisely? Because it's all right saying the pillars are season ticket Monday, but that horse has been flawed. Rangers fans, to their eternal credit, sell it out all the time. So there's no room for getting more revenue out of that. So what I think is most interesting about it is the new approach in that he's saying, right, we're not going to go picking fights. We're not going to go antagonising supporters, which they've done. We're going to have more engagement. I think the things before he came on board, I think the news that John Bennett had met Club 1872, which is rightly or wrongly seen as closely allied with Dave King. I think that was a beneficial move because it showed that it's a club that's wanting to, you know, not quite seek compromise, but seek some conciliation, probably the better word. So I think that's good. I think that's the way forward. But you and I know, what in Scottish football, in fact, in any football, what it all boils down to is winning. And problem one's, how do you get to be the dominant team in Scottish football? And I'll be the one that's exercising the mind of Michael Beale.
Well, that's the point that has not been mentioned on that list of key points that he wants to attack, and I think it's the one that's going to have to materialise over the next few years, if not pretty soon, is investment from outside sources. Again, you know, there's been investment from key Rangers fans who've dipped their hand in their pocket to take them through difficult periods and help the managers like Steven Gerrard win the league. But I do think that's something, you can have all the commercial ideas you want and it might generate some cash. Obviously you're looking at the season tickets, as you've said, and if they get to the group stages of the Champions League, that's a huge shot in the arm, Hugh. But I still think to achieve point number 1, which is to make Rangers the top team in Scotland again, I think there needs to be something coming from an outside source.
Yeah, and what you've had over many years is outside sources coming in and putting money in, but then leaving. You know, just saying, woof, enough's enough. And what you've got is the share issues, which are basically the softest of loans that you can get, but which will be, be looked upon, quite quizzically by UEFA under financial fair play as well. So they've really got to find a model of sustainability and stick to it, Peter. And that's got difficulties because in many areas they've tapped a well. I mean, in season ticket holder, which is a huge thing in Scotland, not so big in the big 5 leagues because it's broadcasting and merchandising that brings their major money in. But if your season ticket money is maxed out already, and you don't want to increase the prices for obvious reasons, tough times in Scotland, that's a major area where you just got to suck up and say, well, that is one of the pillars, but it's one of the pillars we can't really much improve on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think over and above that, I mean, I think I wouldn't in any way belittle the communications with the press and the media, but I think Nick Thompson, who's the PR guy at the moment, is a very nice lad and very positive and helpful. I think there's been a real sea change in the club that way, and I think if they get a situation where, as you say, they're not combative and people can, and remember, by the way, Hugh, the one thing I would point out here for those of a sane mind is you can actually offer an opinion or an observation or a critique on whether it's a game or a strategy or whatever, or a manager or a player. You can offer that without getting a situation which I think is really strong in this country, especially in the west of Scotland, where tribalism kicks in, and there's a few dafties who all give it quick, get him banned, we don't like his opinion, get him banned, there was a period where I felt as if they were like Captain Mannering, get him on the list and don't tell him your name, Pike. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now I like what James Bisgrove's got to say. Nobody needs to suck up to him. I mean, at the end of the day, if he builds that communication, Rangers will get positive PR out of it. Because that when you build relationships with people, you become friendly with them, you break down barriers, that happens.
And then there's a bit of understanding of what you're trying to do, and a bit of understanding about the difficulties you face. I think it's interesting engaging with the fans as well, because there's been a disconnect there.
Well, a lot of them have been really unhappy.
There's been a disconnect, and I think that's addressing some of the concerns there. But the important thing, Peter, as we all know, it's all great stuff and that, but the noise around Rangers and around any club that seeks to win leagues is when you don't win a league. That's when the noise starts. Any chief executive will tell you, the most important thing that's happening is what's happening on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the good thing that Michael Beale highlighted is they want to get their business done quickly already. Jose Cifuentes, Ecuador international, has been linked with a deal being done imminently. So you can tell that Michael Beale wants them all in quickly.
He needs them in quickly. And his problem is he needs them in quickly because he wants to bed in, because there's not a wee position where they can start slowly and just build up to a crescendo. Europe's quick and right on top of them, and more that you're seeing with Celtic and Rangers, and the chasm between the rest of it is you can't drop points early on because you'll not get them back. So he needs to get them in quickly. I'm mildly surprised at how quickly they seem. I mean, there's not there's not official guys holding the scarf out at Murray Park or Auchenhowie at the moment, but there seems to be signs that that's going to happen imminently, and that's very positive for Rangers and Rangers support, because Michael Beale's operating in a market where it's going to be a lot of free transfers, and guys have got a lot of options. So getting them tied up quickly is absolutely essential, I think, for Rangers.
Better strategy.